Hello, and welcome back to the Flatcap Recap. I am your host, GPReeds.
I'm your co-host, Friendly.
And today we are talking about the paranormal.
What was that? What was that you brought up there, Grant?
So, I was talking about how there's a lot of weird paranormal things in Kentucky, and I brought up Ghost Adventures because I don't like the way they portray the paranormal at all.
Yes. Zack Bagans. Let's just take a second and look at the whole premise of the show. We're going to do scientific investigations into the paranormal and ascertain whether or not the paranormal and ghosts and life after death really exist. And then you pull out spirit boxes? Look, I have no problem with the paranormal at large exists. I by and large accept that it has to exist. There are things that happen that we just don't really know why they happened, but they did. And instead of looking into that, you're going to pull out a device that is pre-programmed with voices that responds to certain decibel levels and be like, oh, look at me get scared.
As they say in Hollywood, now that's good TV, and that's all it is.
It's not even good TV. They've
He
been
thinks it
doing
is.
it for 11 seasons.
Is it really that? Oh my gosh, it went on for 11 seasons?
It's still going on.
Why are
And
people
they're
still watching?
still giving, because I have to believe that it's ironically for 90% of the people out there, and there's unfortunately another 10% that genuinely believe that he is talking to ghosts. And this is where my real problem with this type of show comes in. It's something I did for a while in my past with scam baiting and con hunting. And I wasn't too bad at it, but I've known more than one person that has lost everything to scams, and I have a pretty deep passion for it, and unfortunately, what this type of thing leads into is, I mean, essentially it's MLM. It's a gateway into an MLM, but instead of buying Mary Kay, you're buying a spirit box and all the what amounts to $15 in pieces cobbled together in some guy's garage, and you're spending $1,500 on it so that you can go and find the ghost in your house and communicate with it. It feeds into this just scams, con. So there's because all they do is fake it. It's all fake. I mean, I don't think there's any disputing that.
Only thing I'll say is, have you ever seen a reality TV show that isn't scripted?
No.
Well, then there lies your answer. It is a reality TV show version of a ghost hunt. And that's it. That's all it'll ever be. That is it. By and large, it's scripted.
Fair. It's probably a more level-headed way of looking at it as a scripted show. But even then, the fact that they try and sell it as real, as something that's really happening all the time,
Reality TV.
and he sells products based on the perception that this stuff is actually happening.
And again, reality TV. They do the same thing. Just different version of it.
Mm.
You think Keeping Up with the Kardashians is actually the Kardashians' life? And then you buy their products based on the things they've went through in the show? Okay.
I feel like it's a different thing, though. It leads into something that everybody has a deep-seated emotional connection, which is ostensibly you're communicating with people that have died. I will frame it to you this way. I'm living in a house by myself. I make good money. I'm middle-aged, widowed, one kid, not around very often. They're off living their life. And I'm pretty happy. And I start watching these shows, and they start pointing out, oh, this weird thing. Point out this other weird thing. You get really into it. And you start watching some other stuff, and then you start noticing weird things too. It's not because it's never been there before, but just, you're kind of lonely, and you start noticing weird things because it's been pointed out to you that weird things happen at places all the time. gets to a point where you start getting weirded out by it really badly. You start hearing creaks in the floor. It's driving you. There is something here I can't explain. I don't know what this is. And look, that's it. That's it on TV. That's it right there. That's exactly what it is. And this guy's going, it's a ghost. We can communicate with these ghosts. We can tell them to go away. There are people out there that can fix these issues. And you go and call them. They show up. They go, oh, pull out all this stuff you've never seen before. I've never seen it before. It looks scientific and genuine. And they're using terminology that's reasonable. Okay. They go around. They go, oh yeah, there's definitely something here, but we need to stick around, and it's expensive for us to stay. You'll put them up for the night, and then that turns it quickly into them handing you a bill for $45,000 and all expenses paid at a top rate hotel. Now, your life savings are gone. Your daughter's been telling you this is a scam the whole time. You are now in debt. There are people that mortgage their house over this. People lose everything because some guy on TV told them that they could talk to a fucking ghost, and they believed him. And a lot of people commit suicide out of shame because it's not something that's talked about. But when you're scammed, when you really lose, it's a confidence scam. Somebody walked into your life, told you could trust them, gave you reason to believe them, and then walked away with everything you've owned or ever will own. And most people can't live with that.
Okay.
A lot of people.
Oh, that part of it, especially like Long Island Medium, it's just cruel. I mean, I can understand you feel like you're doing something good because you're making someone think that they're communicating with their loved one. But I mean, on a psychological deep level, you're scarring them. They see you as basically a gateway to their family, and when they don't have you, and then when they figure out it's a lie, it shatters their worldview. It's cruel. It may, in the moment, may feel like a positive thing, feel like you're actually helping them, but at the end of the day, you're doing way more damage than any good you could ever do with that.
See, that kind of gets to the core of the greater issue here. I think I'm glad you brought up keeping up with the Kardashians, because you make a good point. But the difference here is that
this directly relates to them instead of just someone else.
Yeah, and with the ghost hunters and the see, okay, and for the record, I love shows like Hunting Bigfoot. I think they are hilarious. Like, some people watch Big Brother. I watch Bigfoot Hunters. And all of those guys, I love it. And honestly, it's good entertainment. But Ghost Hunters in particular, and Zack Bagans in particular, as a face of that, when it comes to the paranormal and communicating with the dead, it is something that there will always be somebody that is seeking it out. And even if he himself is not directly offering a seance, he is spreading the message that it is possible to communicate with dead. Not to say that it is completely impossible or dismiss any possibility.
Right,
But by and large, the way that it is packaged and presented is that it is something that you can go and spend money and be able to do too. And there is an entire industry of con artists that go around and drain people's bank accounts and ruin lives because somebody's got weird leaky pipes and this disingenuous prick just wants to make a quick buck off of somebody's fears and insecurities and bad plumbing.
Yeah, I can see it that way. Honestly, I see it in the negative light as in being a con and scamming people out of money because, I mean, he builds almost this religious experience around himself. These people do, and they come to them for answers about the afterlife, for answers about life, for answers from their loved ones. So they almost put these people in like this godlike stance, this gateway between life and death. And in pumping them up so much, they'll fall for anything they say. Because,
Yeah,
well, this person speaks with the dead. He has way more knowledge than anyone else on this planet. So if he says that we all should jump off the cliff or we should all drink the Kool-Aid, we should, because he has a better understanding, because he's connected to two planes of existence.
I have a great deal of issue when that sort of thing becomes monetized, because it's predatory. And I will honestly always think of Zack as a scummy motherfucker. If nothing else, I think people need to be aware of psychological priming, and I really have a particular personal belief that in that instance and in those instances, it is a form of psychological priming, and it's priming people to something that can and has ruined a lot of people's lives.
Absolutely.
And I just wish, like, because there's so much weird stuff. So many legitimate weird things happen every day. Why does it have to be at, the haunted fortress of Davy Jones?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like,
there's enough weird things in the park near me. I mean, for real. There's definitely paranormal things out there. There's definitely this world of unknown things. I mean, even in science, they'll admit that there's this world of unknown. It's just, and again, that's with anything. Science is just the discovery of how things work and what things are. It's just things we haven't discovered yet. The main focus here is that they're taking the unknown, taking advantage of it, and using it to scam people. So it's all really about watching what goes into your mind, thinking things through for yourself, and not allowing people to prime the way you believe and the way you think, and really just, again, just thinking for yourself. That's what it all really comes down to.
yeah, you can enjoy the thing and enjoy the show, but don't let the presentation confuse you for the reality.
Well put. And with that said, thank you all again for tuning in today. This has been the Flatcap Recap. I am your host, Grant Reeds.
I'm your co-host, Friendly.
Keep your eyes wide open and never stop reading.